Crochet Garments with Confidence Summit 2023. Let's put the year there because things might be happening. But yeah, I can't believe we're here for the very last chat with our amazing designer of the very last lesson. I mean, the comments under the YouTube video have been exploding. So many of you have watched the video and learned so many valuable tips and tricks when it comes to styling your crochet, because it's not just about making it, it's about wearing it proud and wearing it beautiful. And me and Hannah both agreed who would be the best for the job and who would be better than the amazing Michelle from MJ's Off the Hook Designs, who's here with us. Hello, Michelle.
Hi, girls.
Hey, thanks.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us.
Oh my gosh, the comments on the video was just amazing. Like, so many people, like, we thought like this is the last piece, like we just said, the last piece of the puzzle, isn't it?
Yeah,
So,
it is.
spent all that time making these amazing things, and then how on earth do you actually wear them? Like, I know it might sound really obvious, but like people just get a bit lost, I think, don't they, with knowing how to style.
They do. It's like you make it and then it sits in the pile or the closet and you don't wear it. But I mean, we want to tell you, wear it, style it, wear it out, get the compliments. I had somebody comment, I think this morning on one of them, that they've made the lacy spring cardigan like 3 times and they get so many compliments when they wear it out. And that's one of the sweaters that when I wear out, I get compliments all the time. People are like, where did you buy that? Where did you get it? And it's kind of like, oh, I made it. So it's a warm feeling.
It's amazing. Yeah, when you get a compliment on something you made, that's just like, tick. Yeah, this is great. This is absolutely amazing.
Everyone's coming on in. Hello. Hi. Say hi, everyone. If you've got any questions from the video, ask us. Please ask us. Want to ask us? Ask Michelle. She knows it all. She knows it.
Oh, I don't know. You guys have your expertise too, but I hope everyone's joined into the entire summit and watched all the videos because they've all been great, so informative. So there's so many pieces to the puzzle, right? Getting the right fit, the right drape, just everything that they need to make a beautiful piece that they're going to wear, and finding that right pattern.
Yeah.
Right, ladies? Yeah.
That magic formula. Time it takes experience, doesn't it, to figure that out? But like we were saying, like the whole weekend, we're saying it's not a bad thing, is it, to try stuff and it perhaps doesn't work out? That's okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like,
Exactly.
Again. But
and it happens to me all the time too. I'll make a gauge swatch and I'll think, yeah, and then I start making it and then I'm just like, no, it's just not working. And it's okay. That's okay. That's just part of the process.
Definitely.
Absolutely, yeah.
Do the housekeeping. I forgot the housekeeping.
Yes.
We've not got long left to join in for the We Crochet giveaway. So is it in that corner, everyone?
Yes. You're pointing to it. Yeah.
Grab that for your chance to win a $40 gift card from We Crochet. And then what's the code? I can't remember it.
We've got Garments 15 codes, which will give you a 15% off if you go over to crochet.com. If you want to grab any supplies, if you're inspired to get into garment making or crochet in general, go over to crochet.com, use the code Garment15. That will give you 15% off the purchase.
Yay.
And I think we've had a question, what we're wearing again.
Oh, yes.
Changing for every single live. So what are we wearing?
What are we wearing? Michelle, what are you wearing?
Oh my goodness, what is this called? Okay, I think it's the in bloom lace pullover. So that's what I'm wearing. This was an older pattern that I just redid like in a new yarn and everything. So it's fairly new on the YouTube channel. So it's been updated and I'm happy I redid it because it's one of my favorites to wear now. It was in too small of a size for me before. It was more kind of, when I first did it, it was a little more fitted and I wanted it a lot more oversized. So yeah.
It really suits you. That color looks
that color is beautiful. Yeah.
Really suits you. And mine is yet to be published. I had a blanket and I've turned it into a cardigan thing. So mine's not yet out there. Which one's yours?
I love it. It's beautiful, Hannah.
Thank you. It's very old. It was a really old blanket. It's like 10 years old. And I was just like, I don't use it as a blanket anymore. I was like, I'll make it into a cardigan.
That's awesome. See, look at what we can even recycle our old crochet stuff and turn it into a garment. Is that not so cool?
It's so cool. It's so
fantastic. Yeah.
Well, what's Veronica?
I'm wearing my Ada sweater. So this is a top-down raglan, and I just added a little bit of, because sometimes you get these little gaps when you increase in raglans. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to just make it a feature. And I added these little lacy spaces right next to it and made it a feature. So yeah, it's Ada sweater if you wanted to check that out.
Very, very
nice. I love that detail. It's so pretty. Something so simple can just really give that wow factor, though. That's
absolutely, yeah. And sometimes, you know, you think like, oh, it's no point fighting this little gap that a raglan creates when you're working over a chain space, and you think, you know, how can I get rid of it? But I thought, you know what, let's just exaggerate it. Let's just add even more little spaces there and make it a design feature.
Yeah,
definitely. There's so many people saying hello. Oh my gosh, we've got some questions. We have some questions coming up.
Yes, we do.
We do. Let's do those. I'm trying to do it so they're not over the top of our faces. Here we go. Claire is saying, my measurements are for a size extra small, but with a positive ease at 4 inches, it's like a size small, so too big. I can't follow an extra small pattern because it doesn't exist. So is there any way to reduce it? Should I change my hook for a smaller one? We were talking about this, weren't we? And that like nobody perfectly fits within a size bracket. Like we're all different shapes and sizes, aren't we? So it's so hard, isn't it? To know what to do there. I think I would look personally for a pattern that doesn't have much positive ease. I think the key would be to find the right pattern for you there.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
You could, and if let's say she has that pattern, but what about potentially dropping the weight of yarn?
Yeah, that could work. Yeah.
With a smaller hook to make it smaller. Like there's lots of ways we can make, if you don't want to alter the pattern, like if you're not experienced enough to like make less stitches, I would just try going down in the weight yarn just for it to come out smaller. I mean, that's doing a little bit of guesswork. If you know a little bit of math and you can do your swatch and see roughly what it's going to come out. But also there's even patterns that have negative ease. So it's really looking looking at what the ease of the pattern is and how you actually want it to fit, because you may say that's a small, but like this, for instance, it's oversized. So like, how do you want it to fit? So a 4 inch ease is meant to not fit tight. Do you know? So if you're looking for a sweater that you want to fit tight, you're probably looking for negative ease. If you're wanting it just to kind of fit your body, then maybe look for something with no ease, something right, or even like a 2 inch. But if you want it to actually look the way it's modeled, you want that ease.
Yeah.
Right? You still want that. And maybe measure a garment that you have that you're like, okay, well, this is the bust size that I want. And then a lot of patterns, they always say like the finished bust measurement. So you can just skim patterns that you like and see what those finished measurements are and pick it.
Yeah, because we've been saying as well, like, don't worry about what the size label says. Like the one that you know is going to be right for your measurements. It doesn't really matter whether it says a small, a medium, a large. Like make what's going to fit you and feel right for you.
Exactly. And so when she's at that small end of the spectrum, you really have to look at what the designers put in the description, like what the finished bust measurements are, so that you can kind of like, okay, well, if I make the extra small, I think it's going to fit okay. But if you really have a pattern like that, what I would say, if you really have a pattern that you love and you want to make it smaller, just try, like I wouldn't, maybe going a smaller hook, but that's going to change the drape. So maybe try just dropping, or even going like, if let's say, just for example, it's a worsted, we know there's a range in worsted. So like, can you use a finer, like a bit finer worsted and make it work?
Yeah, we had a really funny chat, didn't we, with Raylin yesterday about yarn and weights and stuff. And like over here, I think in the UK, our yarns are just so different to everywhere else. And some of our finer yarns, they're still in the same category, but they're much, much thinner. So just experiment, see what you've got in your stash, see what works up.
Yeah, and get an idea for looking at the ball labels and how many yards per grams, because that can kind of help you, especially if you're dealing with the same fibers. Look at the yards per grams, and then that's going to help you determine, you know, if there's more, for instance, if there's more yards on a ball, but it's the same grams or ounces, that yarn's going to be a little bit thinner. Thinner it gets, more yards. The thicker it gets, less yards. Kind of that. Keep that in your head if you compare your balls, because I know right here I've got some Color Theory and it has 246 yards on a 100-gram ball. Well, I know a lot of worsted weights are closer to 218.
Yeah.
Right. So this is going to be a thinner worsted than a lot of more kind of standard worsted. This to me goes closer to a DK. So it's kind of, it's the looking at the whole thing, right, guys?
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. And yeah, knowing your yarns and experimenting with stuff. Definitely experiment. Oh, someone has asked, we're staying on the yarn theme. What's your favorite yarn to work up your cardigan? Oh,
how hard is that?
oh my gosh, it depends on so many things, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah, I don't know if I specifically have a favorite, because, you know, it all depends if I'm wanting a chunky cardigan or a cardigan but I do love a fingering weight. I've made a few things in palette from We Crochet, and I love that yarn.
Yeah, definitely. It has such like it's fuzzy, but not too fuzzy, is it? Like it's so soft and fuzzy, so it feels delicate, but warm. Yeah, that is a nice
one, but you know, I can't really say it's necessarily my favorite. I just did make a cardigan in Color Theory, and I really like how it turned out. It's really soft. It's a really soft yarn and not too heavy too, because like I say, it's a worsted, but it's on the lighter side. But then I love some of my chunky cardigans too. Like I loved, I did one in Brava bulky, and I love that. It was really nice.
It's probably fair to say that it's the favorite one is the one you're currently working with, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Sometimes
the one you love to wear the most. Like for the lighter, like the top I'm wearing and some of my lacy cardigans, I'm really loving Cotton from We Crochet, but I'm also really loving their comfy worsted, which now they have in Comfy Sport as well, which is like blown away. They've got Comfy Sport now, so now I can do it even lighter weight, and it's like a cotton acrylic blend. So for the lighter, like for summer and spring, I really love those choices.
We've got, I just popped this one up here. Lynn is saying that All Access Pass is worth every penny. Oh, that's so lovely.
Fantastic.
Thank you. So yeah, I've put a widget up in the corner if you want to, because this obviously is the last session of the summit. If you've missed any, you still have probably about 10 hours to watch them. They're up for free for until the end of today EST time, but then it will be going away. So if you want to make sure you have lifetime access, go and grab your All Access Pass. Right, what we're going here. Kira, so I have a favourite sweater, but the way it flows down isn't like a straight edge, and I don't know if there's a way to figure out how to recreate that, where to start. Oh, do you mean it's meant to have a straight edge but doesn't, or I can't work out which way you want it to be?
Yeah, because some of them naturally, the design will just do that. So probably picking, now it's unfortunate if it's a favorite sweater, blocking, maybe steam blocking to help. You got to be careful with steam though, because you can, depending on what material you used, blocking to try to straighten it out a bit. I know my lacy spring cardigan, because it doesn't have a very wide neck opening, it has a tendency to want to do that. So picking a design that has like a wider neck allows it to hang more straight. But as soon as you get something that has a very narrow neck space, it will tend to want to curve in. I know that. So it could just be the design, or it could need some blocking.
Yeah, blocking, as we've been talking the whole weekend, like covers a multitude of sins, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
And of course, it all comes down to that design element, because like for mine, like I don't know which sweater she's talking about, but if it's my lacy spring, it's made in 2 pieces. So the design would have to change. You would have to almost have like a thicker panel up the back to give it more of a neckline, but it's just the design structure of that cardigan that you get a little bit of curving coming in.
There's someone asking for the giveaway link. There's the link if anyone wants to take a picture of that and then tap it out, or it's in the comments as well. So you do the giveaway. Make sure you do that.
Yes, make sure you enter. We Crochet has so many great yarns, so you want to go enter the giveaway for sure and check out. Most of the ones I've already mentioned are from We Crochet. I use a lot of their yarns. They have such a great variety.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where I got to with the comments. Where was I?
So we've got
going to try some of your patterns. There's the link giveaway. Really in style
on the Facebook one.
Everyone's saying they really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
everyone's enjoyed it. Really love say old. Love your patterns, Michelle. Oh, look, they're trying to choose which to wear, to make. Stacey Ann leaning towards plush and blush crop, cardigan, lacy spring cardigan, waffleicious cardigan. Do them all, I say. Make them all.
Yeah, plenty of choice.
Depends on the season too, what season you want it for. Definitely, you know, for your spring, summer, the Cabot Trail and the lacy spring are great. The Waffleicious, I mean, it is fingering weight. So even though like it's kind of an all, I mean, I'm in Canada, so it's all season for us here. Like even some summer days you could throw it on. I did it in pink to make it bright and, you know, so it could kind of work for me. And then the plush and blush, it's now depending if you want to change out the yarn for that one, I used some mohair. It's behind me here actually on the model. So it's a fuzzier, kind of warmer. So if you just went with, instead of combining the palette and the mohair yarn like a loft that I did, you could always just use a DK weight in really whatever, that it wouldn't be quite as warm. You could do it in comfy worsted because it's probably a thin enough that it would gauge. You could, you know, if you wanted it lighter for summer, you could just pick the right fiber, and even in acrylic wouldn't be quite as warm, I don't think.
No, probably not. There's so much choice with yarn, isn't there? So much choice.
Yeah.
I crochet for a niece who has a slim build with a large bust. I've been chicken to make it anything fitted, sticking to shawls. Any suggestions of how to crochet her a top? It depends on the construction, doesn't it? I think you need to go back to Veronica's and figure out which construction you'll be able to adapt to.
I think if it's just a plain like a summer top or easy top, even kind of 2 rectangles sewn together. I mean, Hannah, you did your mystical tea pattern, didn't you?
Yeah.
So that's, you know, 2 rectangles, one for the front, one for the back, just sew them together. And if you go back to the construction video, I talk about adding different necklines. So, you know, if you miss the stitches in the middle on the front panel to allow for your neck, then, you know, it's simple. If you choose whatever stitch you use, if it's for summer top, you can go for something more lacy, something more open maybe. If you want to stick to something, even a half double crochet stitch, I mean, you know, it's a pretty stitch. So yeah, just 2 rectangles, one for the front, one for the back, and allow for the neckline. You can jump back to that construction video and just have a look at different necklines. So do you want a scoop neckline or just a V neckline, which means you'll be kind of decreasing around the neck. So yeah, there's lots of possibilities, and the main thing is, if you haven't tried that before, you can really just keep it simple. You know, you don't need to complicate things when you're starting out. Just like I said, 2 rectangles sewn together, that will fit your knees nicely. I think you can't go wrong there.
Yeah, and I think as well for a bigger bust, sometimes also a top down one is quite good, because then you can cinch in at the waist, can't you? If you're then work the body part, you can reduce your stitch count.
Decreasing, yeah.
You've got
and I'm sure we all have top-down patterns, so most of mine haven't added decreasing, but that's so simple to do. And even if you want to go, even make it a little more complicated, you can always, like if she has really tiny arms, let's say, you can look at the pattern and how many stitches are calculated for the arms. You could always start out decreasing them by a couple stitches, just so the arm section comes out smaller. So with the top down, you'll notice there'll be like your front, back, and your arms, and they'll start at a number. So you could always take away a little bit from the sleeves, keep increasing to that bust size that she needs, and then start after you've reached that, because you'll do your yoke, you'll reach her bust size, join it up, maybe even do a little bit more decreasing on the arms for her, and decrease the body, like get her measurement so that you know, okay, I need to go this, and maybe do again that negative ease. So for instance, if she's a 36-inch bust, you may only want to go up to like 34.
Yeah.
Right. So that it's more fitted for her. And then like, what's her waist? How much do I need to decrease to get it? You could even probably even go down to 32 if you want it to stretch out. But again, it depends on the fabric. But the top down, I think, is kind of versatile that way, like that she could play around with those numbers.
Yeah, definitely. And try, if your niece is anywhere near you can try it on as you go, and then just adjust it as you're making it. But the other thing I suppose to say is that like oversized stuff is really in fashion at the moment, isn't it? So if she likes oversized stuff, then just
it's easy. Yeah, it's easy if she likes it oversized.
And the rest doesn't matter, because it will be oversized like it's meant, it's designed to be.
Mm-hmm.
What have we got here? We have a question. What's the best beginner type pattern? My tension changes every time I pick up my crochet.
Oh, no.
You are not alone in that, Patricia. Do you have any suggestion? What would you say out of your patterns, Michelle? What's the best beginner type?
The best beginner type. Well, I mean, anything if your tension is changing every time you pick it up could be a little challenging. I mean, I have a lot of one-piece constructions. So picking a pattern that's a one-piece construction is really beginner friendly. Ones that require blocking can help fix that. Like for instance, what I'm wearing right here, this is a one-piece construction, the In Bloom lace pullover. Plus when you block it, it might kind of help to fix any of those, tension issues, because it's lace stitch, right? So it might work out. Plus I have the Cabot Trail cardigan. If you're thinking cardigan, it's a lacy stitch. So if you find that that's too complicated, you could try something like the Lakeside cardigan, which is a one piece. And it's just, I'm trying to think, I think I used extended single crochet. So very simple stitch, not too difficult. The Crop or Knot cardigan, it's another one piece. You can make it long, short, somewhere in between. And it is herringbone double crochet. So another pretty simple stitch once you get the hang of it. I'm trying to think. I know I have some other really easy. Of course, I'm giving you a whole list. I try to do a lot of beginner friendly patterns. So if you like the top down, we were talking about the top down, the Rocky Mountain pullover is all worked in double crochet. So very, very simple. It's a very beginner, basic top down sweater.
And it's like, Michelle, both Veronica and I said in our videos, like Veronica did about constructions, and we're saying like, there is no one construction that's better for beginners or not. Like, you make what you want to make, and then in my video, I was saying, make what you want to make, but find out a designer that is reputable, that does perhaps videos, so I would say anyone can make any because they all have videos and they're all sized, and you're available, we're all available to help. So I would just say go with one that you really love the look of and see how you go.
Yeah. And always you can, I mean, for myself, I have YouTube videos for almost all of them. There's a few maybe old ones that I don't, but I've been trying to remake any of my older ones as well and put on YouTube. So go and watch the video, check it out, see if it's something that you think this is something I'm interested in, or I want to make, or I can do this. Sometimes they don't want to say this isn't beginner, a beginner can't do it. Cause I know a lot of beginners jump in, follow the video, and they can do it. So
yeah, definitely. Jeanette's asking, she wants to make your peekaboo cardigan in comfy sport. Do you think it will meet gauge?
So I used comfy worsted. So it will, you would probably have to use a different size hook to meet gauge. It might just make it even a little bit you know, lacier, but I don't know how much of a difference there is between the two to say for sure. Like I haven't tried gauging or anything with the sport over the worsted, but you know, it doesn't hurt to gauge it and try. Like you might just have to go up a hook size if you don't mind it being even more open and loosey, then like, if that's a word.
You could possibly try to maybe follow the stitch counts for a different size.
Yes, that would work too.
Yeah, because the sport would be thinner. You would probably have to follow a bigger size to get more stitches. So there is definitely a way around it.
Good
but
idea.
Yeah, it would take a bit of working out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, work up a swatch, and then just kind of see where you come out, how many stitches per inch, and what size would maybe work best for you.
Yeah.
Definitely. There's a question about what pattern, yarn, and color did you use for the top you have on?
Okay, so it's the In Bloom lace pullover, and I use, let me just see here, a sagebrush, and it is Cotton.
I really like Cotton.
Yeah, Cotton has a lot of nice colors. Beach Glass is almost similar, but I think a little bit lighter blue. The sagebrush is the one that I used for this, but they have a lot of colors to choose from. There's a lot of colors.
Here we are.
I'm trying to think. I think I used Surf in Cotton for the Cabot Trail cardigan.
Is that like a bit brighter? Or
it's another more blue, like instead of having the more green to it, it's a more blue color. And yes, if you go to We Crochet and you go to Cotton, you'll see my designs there, me wearing this top and the Lacy Spring cardigan also, and the Cabot Trail cardigan. The patterns are all on there, so you can get the pattern and the yarn all in one go if you want.
You can do We Crochet is really clever with the kit builder, isn't it? So you just choose what you want to make, and it just and the color, and it just automatically puts enough yarn in your basket. So that's it. And then you can use garment 15 to save 15%. Yay!
Yes.
So does the yarn choice impact which type of blocking is needed? Does the type of garment impact the type of blocking? Yes, you need to go watch Hortense's video, which is on YouTube. Go to the main page and see it. Yeah, blocking.
She has a full video on it.
Video on blocking. It's this weird and wonderful. It feels like a big secret, doesn't it? But it's not. It's not as technical as people think it might be. It's not as scary as you think it might be. And you can't go far wrong. Other than we said, like don't use heat on acrylic because it can end in tears. Lots and lots of tears.
You have to be really careful. But I find acrylic yarns in general, they don't need a lot of blocking. You don't usually get a lot of variance in your gauge, where it's like the lacier patterns, and when you're using natural fibers, that tends to be a little bit different. Where I find most of my sweaters, like I just even did one and I'm like, nah, it doesn't need to be blocked. I didn't even block it because it didn't really need it. And anyways, I probably should have still, but I didn't, because I was like, it looks good.
Yeah, well, no, and that's the whole point. Again, and Hortense said that in her video. She's like, if you're happy with it, don't worry about it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Where the lace stitches, I find I always usually need to block to stretch them out, to give them their full, like when you're crocheting a lace stitch, sometimes you look at it and it's like, oh, this doesn't even really look good. And then once you stretch it out, you see the beautiful pattern.
Definitely. Elizabeth is asking, what size hook did you use for the fingering weight yarn on the cardigan? So I suppose your waffle.
Very good question. I can look at that. I can see. It's been too long now. I can't remember. But I know I didn't use a super small because I never generally go to a super small hook. But let me think of the fastest way I can find the information for you. We can always get back to that. We can always put up another question and I'll look.
Fingering weight for me, I was thinking this earlier, I'm making two things at the moment in fingering weight. One, I'm using a 3mm hook, and the other, I'm using a 5mm hook. And it's because of the stitch that I'm using. So it completely depends on the style of stitch and the style of garment that you're making.
Yeah, and the drape that you want. And that's like, I find I play around with different hooks a lot of times when I'm starting to design something. Okay, so I used a 3.75 millimeter F hook for that pattern.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's like waffle stitch is double crochets. So if you have a done waffle stitch, it's basically double crochets and then like some front loop, back loop, or the front post, back post. So it actually works out quicker than you think. It is dense, like it kind of pulls it together with those post stitches, but it works up really quickly because I mean, for me, I can do a double so fast. Probably most people can, like a double crochet, and even with the post stitches. So I enjoy something I can work quickly.
Yeah, definitely. I get bored easily, so I don't like things that take me too long.
Yeah, I was going to ask, roughly how long does it take you to make a, say, cardigan from start to finish? Because honestly, every time I look at your feed or your social media, it's like, there is a new pattern and here is another pattern. So honestly, do you see?
I don't know. I don't usually time myself. I think that I have so many things going on at one time that I usually, like, it's just, once it's ready, it's ready. I don't know. And I do have Emma helping me now, which has been a big help. I feel like this year we've published all these patterns, and it's because she's been helping make blankets. She's been helping. So then I've been able to work on the garments more, and she's behind the scenes helping me with blankets and things. So, but that's going to slow down. She's had this one blanket that she's now been working on like forever. And it's only, she's like, I think you're going to have to take it over, Mom. And now she's like, due any day. So I think that I'm going to have to suck it up now and finish.
Or you feel like, no, wait until you're ready. Come back to it.
Yeah. She's like, and then it's funny because I have all these little tricks for carrying the yarn now to hide it up the side. So if you've watched any of my mosaic pattern videos with the inset mosaic technique, and you can just kind of like crochet over that tail that you're pulling upwards. And with this pattern she's working on, it has a lot of stripes. And I went over to see her progress, and she didn't carry like any of the tails. So there's like all these tails. I'm like, oh, you poor thing, I'm like, you're gonna have all those tails to weave.
Oh, bless her. But she's not been crocheting very long though, has she?
No, she is, like, she did learn when she was in elementary school, but then she hasn't really crocheted in years, right? And she's just picked it up. She's a natural. She's just got right into it. And so she's, helping with the social media, and she's like, I've been able to do this pattern and I'm a beginner, so you can do it. She's really encouraging everyone because she's been able to learn these mosaic crochet pattern. Like, I think she's almost had more patience than I have following the chart and doing some of these patterns. So I just haven't passed on any garments to her yet, but I'm usually filming them as I go. So it's a harder thing to pass off to anyone, is that I'm usually working on them, but I don't normally time them. I mean, I'm seeing most of them probably don't take more than 20 hours, but it kind of depends.
Depends so much, doesn't it? It does.
Yeah.
And it depends for me, it depends if it goes wrong in the middle and I have to start again, or I have to,
I know.
So Della is asking, when I make tops to fit the curvy hips, it makes the tops way too big. So how can I make an A-line or another style to fit better? Good question.
Yeah. So again, it comes down to what style that you've picked. Some constructions are going to be more difficult to make those changes. If you're making, let's say, a top down, that's an easy one to make bigger, because you're going to fit the top to your top part. And then instead of decreasing, like we talked about with the tinier girl, you can increase, and you need to kind of take in some measurements into account, like, where do I need to start increasing? Right now I was working on a beach cover up while I was away, and I'm like, so I'm getting the top fitted, and I'm like, that is not going to fit my hips. So like, I needed to start planning out how I would start making those increases. So you want to sort of look at your pattern, look at your stitches per inch, figure out how many inches you're going to need to increase for your hips, and then start working in, maybe every other row, maybe like you know, an increase of 4 stitches per every, like you kind of just need to figure out how many stitches you're going to need to increase to get to that hip size. And I mean, if you're doing a piece in a garment in pieces, you could always sort of do the same thing, having that your base is larger and then you're doing some decreases coming out. But again, you have to look at what pattern you're looking at, like what the construction is and how you can kind of modify to get it, and make sure you're doing those increases at the right location. Yeah. Like, where do you want the increases to start? Where do you want it to get bigger? Because that's what I had to figure out. I still have to try on, because I was on vacation when I was working on this. So I still have to try it on to see if I did it right. Because I was more winging it, because I love to wing things. But while I was away, that was kind of my fun little project at the, you know, at the pool to play around with. But yeah, it's always doable. You know, go by one size or the other, like pick the size that fits your hips and then do decreasing to get it, or start with that top down and pick your bust size and then increase it out, whatever.
And I would say my top tip with that though would be, if you're, especially if you're working flat pieces and you're going to need to match it somehow, or like if you're doing adjustments to anything like that is in pairs, like sleeves, write down what you do. Because I have come across so many times, I've not written it down and I'm like, what, I can't, and then you can't make them match. You can't make
your back and your fronts need to match up. Another, actually, I did design a top like this, but it was for Sugar Bush, so I don't own the rights or anything, but I added panels to the side, which was really fun, and it was like a triangle. So I then sewed in this triangle so you can make the hip area, because it was kind of one of those tunic style tops. And you can add in, so if you don't want to change anything else, you just add in some triangular panels to the side and boom.
Yeah.
Or don't sew the hip part together. That bottom part, leave a little, you know, that it's open.
I did once. I made a panel out of my Florence sweater. It's a really popular pattern, and I didn't make it wide enough for me. I still got lots of baby weight on, and I was like, yeah, that'll fit, and it didn't look enough. So I joined it at the shoulders, and I added panels down the side, and then just carried on and made the sleeves from them. So like, there's loads of ways you can just add bits of extra here and there. Just have a go.
Absolutely,
And come and ask us. We're always happy to help. If it's our pattern, most definitely, we're very, very happy to help, to try and figure out how to make it fit you.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sad. This is like it's over.
I know. I was just looking at the time, thinking, "Oh my god!"
I know. What time is it there, Michelle? You're middle of the afternoon.
It is 3:08.
3 o'clock in the afternoon. 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We're like, it's 8 o'clock at night for us now.
It's been a long day. You girls have been doing an amazing job doing this for everyone. I'm so happy that you put this summit together and put all that hard work. You wouldn't believe, guys, the work that went into putting this together for you. So I hope you really enjoyed the summit. You can go get that all access pass through the link in my description. And you can watch all the videos. Hannah could probably tell you more what they've put together in hard copy for you, but having all the videos ad-free, you can watch them whenever you want. There's how many of us designers were part of it, Hannah?
So there's 11. And we've put together between us 15 patterns that we think are perfect for everyone to start using the techniques that we've been teaching over the whole weekend. So you get and you get a course handbook, and you get cheat sheets and all sorts of extra goodies, loads and loads of goodies.
And you get some ravelry codes for our stores as well. So
vouchers as well.
Yeah. So that makes
it Hannah and Veronica's shops. Yes, you got vouchers.
Definitely. Yeah. So go grab the all access pass if you would like it, or as I say, you've got a few hours still to go and watch the videos, but probably not enough time to watch all of them. But so pick the one you want to watch.
It would be pretty intense, wouldn't it?
They're back to back otherwise. But Michelle, thank you so much for joining us and bringing your expertise. And thank you, everyone. Thank you. You've encouraged us to know that this is the format that you would like. This is what you would like from us. So we are for you. Let us know if you'd like to do stuff like this again, and if so, what would you like us to do? We'd love to.
Who would you like to see? Give us some names of designers and stuff you would like to see again. We're hoping that these amazing experts that we've had in the first one will perhaps join us again. Maybe we'll see, hopefully. And yeah, it's been great chatting to you, Michelle. Thank you very much for joining us, and thank you for all the people in the comments that, I mean, they're still piling in. There's so many people saying hello, but and there is questions coming through, so we'll hopefully get back to those questions in the comments. But yeah, I think it's time to say goodbye.
Thank you so much, everyone. We will see you all again soon.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.